this debt overhang, Mr. President, is responsible for the problems we're having. This 30 trillion debt overhang, which nobody says he knows the detail, how they spent that money, outside 809 billion, which this parliament, this Senate approved. 800 billion, they approved. So about 20 trillion, they knew nothing about it. They didn't know how the money was spent, what it was spent on. And we are carrying it on. So the committee recommended that there should be, the liquidation of that 30 trillion should be prioritized. Liquidation should be prioritized. It means that we should be able to take care of it through quicker resolution mechanism. So they didn't say what this quicker resolution mechanism will be. They didn't say it.
Senator Umeh, let me guide. If you notice, please sit down. Let me just give a little bit of a guide. What the older senators who were in the last 9 Senate are saying is that the total amount of this 30 trillion were brought before them for approval so that the records could be set straight. But however, that they left the caveat that yes, we can approve this, but we want to see the details. And that up till now, the details have not been provided. That the only detail provided is the one contained in the 819 supplementary appropriation of 2022, which is the 819 billion, less than 1 trillion. So 29 trillion plus of this amount.
And in addition, Mr. Speaker,
yeah.
No, please, this information is very important. This body, Senate, look at the Constitution. It has right of approval only. It doesn't have the right when money has been spent for you to rectify. We don't have the right to rectify. We only have the right to approve. Check the Constitution.
Senator Goje.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I think what Ndime is saying is not correct. We have already legalized the 22 billion trillion that was given to us for the waste. It means we passed that one, but it doesn't mean we cannot investigate. We ask for details. Details were not given to us, so we can investigate how the money was spent. It's our own right, but we have already legalized the spending by passing. No, we have legalized it by passing in this Senate, but we can still investigate, and that's what we are saying. But I think, Mr. President, since I am on my feet, protect me, Mr. President. Since we have almost agreed that we are going to set up a committee, all those details will be done at the committee level. So let's go ahead and set up a committee to investigate all those things. Details will be brought out by the ad hoc committee.
I think I agree with Senator Goje. Distinguished Senator Ndume, you were there when the Ways and Means were approved.
I was not there.
But the Senate passed it. It was part of the parliament.
Okay, sir. Check. I was not there. Check the record. And as I said, number one, wait now. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot approve illegality. What they did was illegal. The Senate doesn't have the right. Let it be on record. I was not there. I was not there. Check the record. I was not there, but you were there. But I was not there. I was not there.
was not there. Go and check the record.
Well, I in my view, sorry. Yes, distinguished senator.
Yep.
No, not you. Let's hear from him.
Mr. President, my name is Mustafa Habib, representing the people of Jigawa Southwest. I think Chief Whip, I have the floor. I have the floor.
I want you to know that Senator Ndume cannot remember being there when the thing was done. Okay.
Mr. President, I think we have discussed this issue thoroughly. The easiest thing you do is set up this committee to interrogate this issue, because there should be no holds barred. Everything should be made available. Everything should come to the light, so that Nigerians will know what has happened. And it is in your own interest, in the and the interest of Nigeria, that these things, these facts are made available. And if need be, the actors should be at the consequences of their action. We shouldn't protect anybody. We are in a very serious situation in this country now. Mr. President, don't waste time. Please set up this committee to investigate this issue. Thank you.
What Senator Mustafa Habib is saying, please do not quarrel. You see, somehow when I kept hearing ways and means, and the senators have been grumbling that they were not aware of the details of the so-called ways and means for almost 29 trillion. I knew that a day will come when the Senate will insist on knowing the details in these ways and means. So what has come up with the current economic situation we have found ourselves, Senator Alero, please, with the situation, the economic marasmus that we have found ourselves today, I think it's important for us to know that government is a continuum. Government is a continuum. So whether the Senate, for purposes of clearing the record, approve it or not, we still have a right. Yes, we have a right to know. We have a right to know the details. We have a right to know the details. Am I right? So we can review it. But no, but please, I've seen the former Senate President would like to add clarification. Please, Senator Ahmed Lawan is on his feet.
Mr. President, please, I need your attention.
Mr. President,
so ways and means, even though there are two words there, ways and means, those words are the things causing confusion now. The approval or otherwise. Are you going to address it? Do you have the details? Because what the senators are saying is that they would like to know the details of what the monies were used for. Am I right? That's what the senators are saying. You that is going to explain. Do you have the details? Chairman appropriation. Did you appropriate for the ways and means? Did you appropriate? Did you appropriate? Distinguished colleagues, let us give the Senator Alaji. Senator Alaji, please. I think we have a solution. The Deputy Senate President was chairman of appropriation in the 9th Senate. And he's saying that even though the money was spent and later approved en bloc with a caveat that the details should be provided. Senator Umeh is saying details were never provided. And even went further to say he was not part of it. But that is not important because once the Senate forms a quorum, the Senate has formed a quorum. Approval was given with a caveat that details shall be provided. But now, distinguished Senator Barra Jibrin, Deputy Senate President, himself was the chairman of appropriation. So please explain whether you have the details.
Well, Mr. President, I think this fact should make clear to everyone. Ways and Means is supposed to be a temporary overdraft that is extended by CBN to the executive arm of government. Now, when you have this kind of situation, it could be due to an emergency. It could be due to emergency. Now, that was it is expected if the executive of government and the legislature are on the same page, particularly where the government has majority in the Senate or in the National Assembly, it is expected we will always collaborate and assist the executive of government in the case of emergency. And when those requests were brought here, we knew they were done due to certain situations of emergency. Now, we said, yes, we are going to pass it. In fact, but why did we even put it together this way? 23 trillion. They said they were because of certain situations that were urgent. We said, now, okay, we are going to pass it, but bring your details later. Bring your details later. And it was a collective action by the Senate. And that was done. Even today, if President Tinubu brings in...
please, the President Tinubu will not bring 30 trillion ways and means. We are talking about 30 trillion ways and means. We are not talking about... I can't rule the Deputy Senate President out of order. But I can only appeal to the Deputy Senate President to stick to the issues here. We are talking about 30 trillion ways and means, not what President Tinubu can bring. This Senate will not rubber stamp anything that we feel is not in the interest of Nigerians. And that's the reason why we are discussing. Am I right or wrong? Those who are in support of what the Senate President is saying, say aye. Those against say nay. So the DSP, stick to the issue.
Now, but that does not exclude the fact that we can still go and investigate what we pass. So we are open to investigation. And there was a caveat at that time that we're going to investigate. The details must be provided. So we are waiting. Anytime the Senate feels that we should go to investigate that, we investigate that. So for one now to say, for what happened then was a collective responsibility. And it was done in the interest of the nation and in line with our collaborative stance with the executive arm of government. I say submit.
Your submission is noted, but the aspect of doing something in the interest of the nation, we are saying what you did at that time has put the nation in more mess economically. And therefore, because of the current economic situation we have found ourselves, that there is need for us to look at the details and to know whether they were rightly spent. But then there is somebody that must make a statement on this issue. Senate President Emeritus, dismissed Senator Ahmed Lawan, just say a word so that we can go into the next issue.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. I raised my hand before, and you called me to speak. And, of course, something else happened, so I had to sit down. I have two issues to speak to. First of all, there is nothing that the National Assembly that makes laws on them that cannot look at them and consider them. If there were expenditures wrongly done in contradiction to the provisions of the Constitution, the National Assembly can look at the expenditures And if sanctions are needed for unlawful or wrong or unauthorized expenditures, the National Assembly can provide the sanctions. That is one. Secondly, Mr. President, what the 9th National Assembly approved or ratified in terms of ways and means was not 29 or 30 trillion. It was 22, but there was 819 billion to attend to deal and address very serious infrastructural dilapidations that we had across the country. So it was not 30 trillion. It was 22, and then of course the one we had made it almost 23. So if we have a ways and means that is 30 today, that means something happened between then and now. And it's for the National Assembly to find out what happened. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, nobody in this chamber should suggest that we shouldn't look to anything that we feel is in the public interest. But let me say this very clearly. What Nigerians want today is food. What Nigerians want today is food and security. This belongs to the medium term or long term action that we need to take. How are we going to provide food for Nigerians and protect their lives tomorrow or from today? This report talks about it. Mr. President, let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's consider it necessary to look at what happened in the past. But we are in the present, and the present is so unpleasant. And we have to act very, very swiftly. Thank you very much.
I think we're guided. What he is saying is that even though the ways and means were part of the things that have put us where we are today, that we are saying that the expenses that were not explained, the expenses that we don't have details about, put us in the indebtedness that we are seeing today. The expenses that we don't have details put us in the indebtedness that we have today, and therefore has affected even the ability of government to provide essential needs and services for the public. That we need to look into those things. However, that what is facing us today is a current food situation, food crisis, immediate crisis. So we need to look at what we can do in the immediate to put food on the table of Nigerians. And that is the most emergency we have. And then the aspect of looking at what went on, whether ways and means, whether Anchor Borrowers Programme, whether intervention funds, whatever, those are things that constitutionally we are empowered to do, and we shall do so. And if we need to do so, we can agree here on how we are going to take care of those things. But let us look at this report and see the recommendations that can assist the federal government to bring the current food insecurity to a minimal level.